Greetings all and welcome back. Now, over the last two videos in this series, we've taken an acoustic kit, converted it to mini using a Superior Drummer 3's tracker, and we've edited the midi so that it sounds like a really good performance. So what we'll be doing today is a setup for mixing this midi drum track in Reaper. And this includes choosing the drum sounds we'll be using in the mix. So we've got a session open here in Reaper now, a blank one, and we're going to import our MIDI drums. So I'll set up a new track here, and this is going to be our MIDI track. So we'll add a Superior Drummer 3, and just make sure we have the right BPM and time signature, 76 and 6/8. We'll need to have that right because Superior Drummer 3 will be following the host. So let's go into Superior Drummer's file menu, open recent, and find our drum track. And our MIDI file is already ready to go. So it's there and sounding good, but these are not the drum sounds that I'm going to be using in the mix. Sounds weird, I know, but I prefer to do all of my processing in Reaper and not in the mixer inside the Superior Drummer 3. This is because when I get started with the mixing process, I really don't like jumping between two different apps all the time to do minor adjustments. That's a taste thing. So what I'll be doing is loading a clean kit. And I know I'm going to be using the Yamaha toms. I think we'll keep the same snare drum, a Tama bell brass, which is amazing for this kind of music. There's something about the snap in that one that's really great. And I'll also be keeping the pearl kick that we had originally. The 22-inch one is great for heavier music. Now, cymbals. I think I go with the 18-inch K. Maybe the Istanbul on the right crash. Yeah, I like that one. I will need a China over here. Let's try the 20-inch one. For this particular one, we're going to need a bit brighter right cymbal. Yeah, we'll go with the Paiste 2002. It's a great rock ride cymbal. Probably go with the 14K. Now the first thing we'll want to do is adjust the envelope on our toms. You notice they are ringing for a long period of time. So we'll select our drum first here, turn on the envelope and offset. Then drag the one at the bottom here to make the drum a bit shorter. Yeah, about 900 milliseconds seems to work. Let's try around the same length there. Yeah, I like that. A bit longer on the floor toms. And now, one of the absolute coolest features that Superior Drummer 3 has is the stacking. Let's start with the kick. You can hear that it has a lot of attack, and what I want is something a bit more, a little bit more oomph in the bottom end. And a favorite of mine is the 24-inch Ludwig Classic 3-ply. So let's go to more, add to, and open. The bottom end of that one is ridiculous. So we're going to stack that one. And together they sound amazing. But as you can hear, the Ludwig one is very long. So again, we're going to shorten that quite a bit. And we can also add another one. We can find a really cool one in the Superior Drummer 3 preset sounds. These are one-shot samples. This is pretty much attack only. So really loud. We don't need much of it, but it helps to really add some attack. You can also adjust the tuning on each of these, but I don't think we'll have to do that for the kick stack. And we're going to do pretty much the same thing on the snare. And one snare in particular I like to stack with the bell brass is the Ludwig Colosseum. Mainly because the crack it has in the top end, which sounds great alongside the bell brass. And again, we're going to add one of the preset sounds. Ah, that one's cool. This is a great one to add a punch and attack to your snare. So we're going to add that one. A little tip, when we've adjusted the tuning, click process. This one as well, we're going to have to shorten quite a bit. We basically want just the attack portion of this one. And drop that quite a bit in volume as well. What we'll also be needing to do is copy these over to the rimshot articulation as well. and basically use the same settings. And then we can try playing the intro again. Here's one thing we need to do with the one-shot sample, is use a velocity gate on it, so that it only triggers on high velocity hits. We can set that to around 90, I think. So it only triggers on hits above 90 velocity. Much better. Now, let's go into the mixer and figure out what sounds we want. And first thing we can do now is show all channels. Some of the ambient mics in particular are hidden to begin with, and what we'll be doing on pretty much every channel here is enable bleed. We can already see a few ones here that doesn't have that enabled. Let's start with the closed mics here. Enable bleed from all instruments. Then to the right here, we can tweak how much bleed there are from a particular instrument in every mic. What we can do is adjust the overall bleed level. So I'm going to pull it down a bit. Normally at around 6 dB is fine. Same thing with the toms, but we're not using Rec Tom 3, so we can mute that one. We will be using the ambient ribbon and the ambient mid, and I think I'll be using the front height. Let's see how far we can get. Typically I will not be using the bleed feature on the stack instruments, which we can see here. Now is the fun part. We're going to have to set up the routing, and this is because we want all of our main kit parts on separate channels. Then what we can do then is click the build multi-channel routing for output of selected effects. And now, before we start recording our other instruments and start mixing this thing, let's name our tracks in Reaper. And we should now have the entire drum kit on separate channels in Reaper. So let's do some basic balance thing here. So as you can hear, it's already sounding very good. A bit on the duller side still, but that is going to change a whole lot when we start mixing. When we add the transients, shapers, compression, EQ. By the time we're done with this kit is going to sound very, very good. We're ready to continue working on the song. I'll also be shooting video on everything I record for this one, as that will give you a glimpse into how I work. And there should be tips or tricks that you could use for yourself. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments, likes, share the videos, and I'll see you in the next video.